Believe it or not, you're transmitting more than 1,000 bits of information through body language every minute. Now, isn't that a staggering thought? It almost makes you wonder if you could just glance at someone and know what they're thinking. Well, while the idea of mind reading belongs in the realm of superheroes and fantasy, the science of interpreting body language is very much real and grounded in psychology. So let's set the record straight. No one can read minds in the mystical sense. But by paying attention to the nonverbal cues that people unconsciously emit, like gestures, facial expressions, and posture, you can get a surprisingly accurate glimpse into their thoughts and emotions. This is not about having supernatural powers. It's about sharpening your observation skills to understand what someone is communicating beyond words. So if you can't literally read minds, how close can you get? Let's dive in. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Let's learn why. When engaging in conversation, have you ever noticed how eye contact, or the lack thereof, can make a world of difference? It's not just about politeness, it's a profound indicator of interest and emotions. Consistent eye contact suggests confidence and attentiveness, painting a picture of someone who is fully invested in the interaction. Now let's dive deeper into the pupils, to be exact. Ever heard of pupil dilation? It's a fascinating phenomenon. Under various emotional states, our pupils can either dilate or contract. For instance, when someone is intrigued or sees something appealing, their pupils tend to dilate. This involuntary reaction can be a subtle yet telling sign of someone's interest or excitement. But it's not all about the size of the pupils. Blinking patterns also hold clues to a person's mental state. Rapid blinking might signal stress or discomfort, whereas a slower blinking rate could suggest that a person is bored or disengaged. Imagine you're discussing an upcoming project with a colleague. If their pupils are dilated and their blinking is minimal, they're likely interested and on board with your ideas. Conversely, if their eyes dart around the room with increased blinking, they might be feeling anxious or skeptical about the proposal. Remember, when someone's eyes are talking, you might want to listen. Crossed arms, defensive, or just chilly? When someone crosses their arms, it's easy to jump to conclusions. But let's unpack what arm positions can really tell us about a person's mindset. Arms, like a personal semaphore, communicate a wealth of information about comfort, openness, and even skepticism. Firstly, consider the classic crossed arms. This gesture can be a self-soothing action, much like a self-hug. It's often perceived as defensive or resistant. Yes, but context is king. In a chilly room or during a casual chat at a cafe, crossed arms might merely mean, "I'm cold," or "I'm just relaxing." Now, let's shift to arm barriers. Ever seen someone hold a purse, a book, or a cup of coffee closely in front of them during a conversation? This can be a subconscious shield, protecting them from perceived emotional or psychological stress. It's a telling sign that they might be feeling insecure or unsure. Conversely, when someone's arms are open, with palms visible or loosely by their sides, it suggests a level of comfort and openness. This gesture is inviting, signaling that they're engaged and receptive to the interaction. It's as if they're saying, "I'm open to what you have to say." Observing how arms interact with other elements of body language can also provide deeper insights. Are the shoulders tense or relaxed? Does the arm positioning change as the conversation progresses? Arms can signal a fortress or an open gate. It's all in how you read them. Stand tall or slouch, each tells a story. Posture, often overlooked, is a powerful communicator in the silent language of the body. Whether you're standing in a room or sitting across the table, the way you hold yourself speaks volumes before you even utter a word. Let's start with an upright posture. Picture someone standing tall, shoulders back, head held high. This stance isn't just good for your spine. It broadcasts confidence and openness. It's like saying, "I'm ready to take on whatever comes my way," without speaking a single syllable. Now, consider the act of leaning. When someone leans in during a conversation, it's a physical cue that shows interest and engagement. It's as if they're saying, "Tell me more," with their body. Conversely, leaning back might be a subtle hint of disengagement or a desire for space, a physical manifestation of, "Hold up, that's enough." During interactions, watch how posture shifts. A sudden change from a relaxed stance to a rigid one can indicate discomfort or defensiveness. It's like watching a live broadcast of the person's comfort levels fluctuating with the conversation's ebb and flow. And what about those who perpetually slouch? It might suggest a lack of confidence or a casual, perhaps too relaxed attitude towards the situation at hand. It's as if their backbone is whispering, "I'd rather be anywhere but here." Your spine does more than keep you upright. It communicates your confidence and attitude. Ever thought about what your legs are saying during a conversation? It might seem odd, but your legs can be quite chatty if you know how to listen. Let's decode the subtle language of leg movements and positions. First up, the classic leg cross. When someone crosses their legs, it's often seen as a sign of comfort and relaxation. But watch closely. If the top leg is bouncing or swinging, it might just hint at some underlying nervous energy. It's like they're saying, "Sure, I'm relaxed, but I'm also ready to spring into action if needed." Now let's talk about leg bouncing. Ever seen someone constantly tapping their foot or bouncing their knee? This can be a dead giveaway of nervousness or impatience. It's as if the legs are trying to keep up with a fast-paced internal rhythm. Think of it as the body's way of keeping time with the anxious beats of the mind. On the flip side, consider the wide stance. When someone stands with their legs firmly planted apart, it often radiates confidence and control. It's like they're saying, "I'm solid, stable, and I'm not going anywhere." This stance is common in situations where people feel in command or wish to assert dominance. Then there's the subtle shift. Legs that shift from side to side can suggest discomfort or a desire to escape the current situation. It's a physical manifestation of a psychological shift where quite literally getting ready to walk away. Legs don't just carry you from place to place, they carry a conversation too. From a handshake to a high five, our hands are talking. Indeed, the hands are one of the most expressive parts of the body. Let's dive into the world of hand gestures and what they're really telling us. When someone extends their hand for a handshake, it's not just a polite greeting. The firmness, duration, and even the moisture levels can convey confidence, nervousness, or sincerity. A firm handshake often suggests confidence and trustworthiness, while a weak one might hint at insecurity or disinterest. Moving beyond the handshake, consider how open palms play a role in communication. When people show their palms, it generally signals honesty and openness. Imagine someone explaining an idea with their palms up. It's as if they're saying, "See, I have nothing to hide." On the flip side, clenched fists can indicate defensiveness or aggression, meaning that the person might be holding back their true feelings. Now, let's talk about finger positioning. Steepled fingers, where the fingertips meet but the palms are separated, often portray a position of authority or deep thinking. Conversely, fidgeting with one's fingers or excessively tapping can betray anxiety or impatience. It's fascinating how even the distance between our fingers can reflect our state of mind. Widely spread fingers suggest confidence and control, whereas tightly closed fingers might show that someone is feeling tense or unsure. So keep an eye on those hands. They're quite the chatterboxes. Now that you know the secrets, what's next? Let's take a moment to stitch together the colorful quilt of nonverbal cues we've explored, starting with the windows to the soul, the eyes. Eye contact isn't just about looking someone in the eye, it's about seeing and being seen. It's the difference between a fleeting glance and a gaze that says, "I'm here with you." Moving on to the world of arms. Remember, crossed arms might scream, "Keep out," but they could just as well be saying, "I'm just chilly." Context is everything. It's like understanding whether someone is building a wall or just putting on a sweater. And what about posture? The silent announcer of confidence. Standing tall doesn't just make you look good, it speaks volumes about your inner state. It's like your spine is whispering secrets about your confidence level. Then there are the legs, the often overlooked storytellers. A leg jitter might signal nervousness, or it might just mean too much coffee. Watching the legs can be like tuning into a subtle yet revealing channel of communication. Hands. They can paint pictures in the air or tightly hold secrets. From a warm handshake to a frantic hand wave, each gesture adds a stroke to the portrait of a person's thoughts and feelings. Understanding body language and gestures not only helps you read minds, but also helps you connect on a deeper level. Who knew you could say so much without speaking a word?